Hey everyone, this is a story about a little North American migratory songbird. It's called the American Bobolink. It's my hope that after you watch this video, you can come to appreciate the fantastic journey this little guy takes each season and appreciate how this little bird can act as an indicator species for ecosystem health that's thousands of miles away from where we live here in the Midwest. First, some cool facts. They have a really beautiful song. In fact, they used to be called the Illinois Chatterbox. They used to fill the Illinois prairies with so much noise. They also are very unique. No other bird looks like a male bobolink. Once you see one, you won't forget it. It's also kind of small. It's only about 6 to 7 inches large, and you'll see soon how amazing that is for. It does some amazing things for its size. It's also called the rice bird in South America because the birds feed on rice. They overwinter there and eat all the rice the farmers plant down there. They're also one of the only songbirds that actually nest in the ground, particularly the North American prairie in Illinois. Now, for the cool part, they travel about 20,000 kilometers a year. 20,000 kilometers. That's like down to Patagonia and Jamaica and back. That makes them the largest migrating songbird in the world. They're pretty amazing. They fly halfway around the world and back. It's pretty cool for a bird that's only 8 inches large and weighs the mass of a couple quarters. Now some interesting things about them. Why do we care about this bird? What's the big deal? How do we find out about what's going on with them? Well, in the late 70s, some really cool scientists in Canada and North America, United States, realized that the prairies, number one, were going silent. They were becoming quiet, and they noticed about 75 to 80% drop in the bobolink population. That was kind of alarming. So the first thing I looked at was the habitat. Well, they breed they breed right here in the U.S. That's the only place they breed, particularly in the Illinois tallgrass prairies. And you can see by the pictures there, the Illinois tallgrass prairie has been reduced from its historical part to less than 1/10 of 1% of its original. The tall grasses of the prairie are requirements for their habitat. They feed on the high plants, on insects, and they also bury they burrow make their nests on the ground. The females protect their nests from the ground. The males perch from the top and feed and protect. Well, the advent of modern agriculture, if you look at these monocultures, the monocultures don't bode well with an animal that is a prairie nester. So obviously, not only is the habitat gone, but the harvesting is ruining the birds' nests. And another problem is that genetic engineering and selective breeding have created crops that can be harvested twice a year, further damaging any chance of the animals nesting in the stubble. Also, let's move down to South America. South America is also an issue because South America does not have the bans on DDT and other pesticides that we do here in the United States. Recent studies in 2011 showed that the rice paddies are huge biodiversity hotspots, and the birds are being killed off by these pesticides, including the bobolink, which you could see in that picture. Also in Haiti, where the animals they're eaten for for dinner down there, so that's a problem as well. Well, thanks to some movies like The Big Year with Jack Black and Owens, they've raised awareness for birds. People now realize how far these birds actually travel and what a struggle they have. The Audubon Society also paired up with farmers in the U.S., and farmers now are getting incentives for doing alternative harvesting methods. They're leaving strips unharvested each year that have prairie plants in there, and they're also managing their own prairie with fire management techniques, and it's kind of cool. It's working out really well. The bird populations have increased dramatically in the Canadian area and out in Nebraska where they're doing these techniques. Now, my students and I did a bobolink study on a prairie that we restore. We've been restoring a prairie for about 10 years, and what the kids did is they made artificial eggs and artificial nests to see what kind of organisms were eating these birds, to kind of monitor that, to try and protect the animals, and also just to watch the birds themselves and see what the numbers were. Well, interesting thing we found is that at night the biggest problems we had, or biggest predators we had on the birds, weren't so much native animals, but feral cats. And what was unique about these feral cats is most of them had stripes. And here's a picture of one right here that we caught on camera. These feral cats, as you can see, eat these birds. And I just threw in other pictures in there as well, just to give you an idea. We learned that in class recently. But anyway, the good news is that birds have been taken off the endangered species list. They're now at manageable numbers. And if you're interested, guys, you can go to the bobolinkhabitat.org and get yourself one of these really, really cool keychains or t-shirts. So I hope you learned a lot about the bobolinks. You guys have a great day.